Good evening, Motorrad World fans, and welcome to this very special broadcast that we have live on the Motorrad World Facebook page and exclusive to Motorrad World. We just love bringing you up to date with all the latest MotoGP talks and that. You would have seen we've done Nakagami, we've done Jack Miller, we've done a whole bunch of guys. You can see that on our YouTube channel. We've done Mr. Brad Binder himself as well. He was the first MotoGP rider we spoke to, and I'm very pleased to welcome him back once again for this live feed. Brad, how you doing, bro?
All's good, thanks, Uncle Rob. How's life in Africa?
Yeah, it's not bad. Load shedding last night, load shedding this morning. Yeah, but other than that, all good. Do you guys have load shedding in Spain?
I haven't yet, but maybe it might come one day.
So we got a lot of people joining us already. Luca Jefferson, Jules Neetling, Mark Friedman, Tanya Hobali, Craig Hicks, Joan van Asviergen. Now we're gonna chat to you and your fantastic brother a little bit later. We're gonna try and keep it as short and sweet as possible because Courtney's there now, so she's got Brad and Darryn doing some strict chores like cleaning up the house and that. So they're taking time out from that to spend with us. Thank you very much. Rainer Albrecht, evening gents, Barry Moyle, Godfrey Rademeyer, all the way from Bulawayo, Grant Johnson, Matthew Herbert, Tracy Lee Fenter, Auntie Tracy, Anton Smith, Stephen LaRue, and George Hadji, George Hifilifilofalo, Ronaldo Polton. They're all tuning in. Etienne Janssen from Ringsburg. So, yeah, plenty of people are tuning in already. We're going to wait for Donovan. He's just a little bit late. He had a family emergency he had to deal with, so we'll catch up with him just now. Brad, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you do know I think you're a beautiful man, eh?
I've heard it once or twice, especially my debriefs. I
think. What do you do? I could just see old Sebastian like cringe every time I say it.
I think the rest of the journalists must know we mates because they must have worked it out by now. Eh?
Well, if they haven't worked it out now, we've got a serious problem on our hands, and there could be a front page story coming out of Brad likes the other side of the fence.
It's all your fault, Uncle
Rob. Brad, just take us through. It's been a while since we've chatted to you. How things going, man? I've kept everyone up to date with the debriefs and that, so we know it's been a struggle. But I mean, how's it been going since your fantastic Bruno win? You've had some ups and downs.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a bumpy road since then. Already the next weekend in Austria was okay. Finished in 4th place, which was good. That was a positive finish. The next weekend I ran off track and I finished 8th. And where do we go from there? First Misano was really tough for all of us for some reason. We all had a bit of a struggle. All of us KTMs, for some reason, didn't quite get it right the first time around in Misano. Finishing up in 12th there was really disappointing. But we made good steps forward for the following weekend. And then straight away, I was quickest in the first free practice. At the end of the first day in FP1 and 2 overall for Misano 2. And I felt really good, qualified quite well. Can't remember exactly where I qualified, but it was decent. I remember that. And in the race, in the first 2-3 laps, I got up to 3rd place. I was feeling really, really good, and I ended up crashing, which is unfortunate. It always sucks when you make a mistake when things are going well. But I knew that we had made a positive step forward and that I felt better, I was riding better, and everything was working really well. So unfortunately, after that, I was ready to get to the last race in Barcelona. Barcelona was quite a good weekend, actually. Throughout the weekend, I was quite fast. Had some problems in FP1. Other than that, everything was good and was consistently amongst that top 10 all the time. And I was really happy with the way things are going. Unfortunately, the race, something just went terribly wrong, to be honest. We knew that we would struggle with the tire life. We knew that the tires wouldn't last, but from what we expected to use 100% of the rubber, which would be fine because there's always a little bit extra or a bit of safety margin. And I literally after the first 15 laps, I went through to basically, I think I was already on the safety rubber. So I was absolutely just cruising around like it was wet. I was just trying to get the bike home because you're you can't put lean angle anymore. You can't hang on the edge of the tire, and you can't open the throttle. So that was really unfortunate, and it was really difficult to finish that race because it was like riding on ice at the end. But yeah, I ended up bringing it home, and I don't even know where I finished, but it's not good enough. 11th, yeah. So anyway, that wasn't a good day for us. Nothing went according to plan on the Sunday, unfortunately. But that's what racing is. That's what it's about, And the positive thing is I was fast again all weekend, so the speed's there. I just we'll get it right in a race, and it will pay off soon.
Yeah, for sure. We've just got a couple of comments here. What's the SI on your cap? That's for Smashton Industries. So that's Sean Meredith's own brand. And then he also handles all the manufacturing and producing of Brad and Darryn's official merchandise. So that's what SI on the cap is there. And then just people saying that my picture's all fuzzy and that. But I could tell you now that Hurricane Francois is coming to Boksburg here. So my signal might just be cut throughout the whole time. So you're just going to have to deal with it because we are really having really crappy weather.
Geez.
So I wanted to ask you. I actually asked you in your last debrief, and a lot of people asked me.
Actually, I want to ask you, what is Hurricane Francois coming?
Because we've had like hurricane warnings in South Africa. So in Boksburg,
really,
overseas like Hawaii, and that you get Hurricane Juliet.
Yeah. I was wondering. I don't get to hear what's going on in SA too much anymore.
So anyway, like myself, my brother, the team from Smashton, and a whole bunch of Ducati customers are leaving on this mystery ride tomorrow for 4 days, including Donovan Free. And from tomorrow, we are literally having thunderstorms for the next 4 days. So we are going to be riding in pissing rain and snot and all kinds of crap. Typical South African weather.
Good luck to you. Enjoy it, bud.
So, listen, I wanted to ask you, a lot of people are asking here, the KTM package seems to work really well if the track's kind of warm and you can run a hard front, soft rear. So now what are you guys going to do in a situation like Catalonia where you guys are forced to run the medium front, which wasn't too bad, you said, but just can't keep the heat in the tire enough and pretty much put an end to your race. So, I mean, how do you attack tracks like that with cold conditions going forward?
To be honest, it seems to be that we always like to use one step harder than everyone else in the front, purely just because it gives us more braking stability and it's just a little bit more support in the front. Other than that, the rear tire is always, it's not too different to the other bikes, but the front, we always seem to take more of an advantage on the harder compounds on the front, where some of the guys are able to use that S front tire, but whenever we use the soft front tire, we just collapse it all the time, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult for us to stop the bike. And of course, if you can't stop the bike, you can't enter properly, and you don't get out the corners well either. So yeah, that's pretty much why we always tend to go one step harder on the front than other guys. But on the rear, it's normally pretty much the same. To be honest, we would have liked to have used the medium rear tire in the race for sure. But the issue is you couldn't get enough temperature in the rear tire to make it work. Normally in Barcelona, we come so much earlier in the year, and it's sometimes we have close to 50, 55 degrees track temperature. So, when there's that amount of track temperature, then all of a sudden you're below 20 degrees. The way the tire works is completely different. These tires are made to perform at that extreme level, and they have a very small window of where they work and where they don't. Any street tire will just pretty much work or in all conditions, but these are made to, really, they're made for everything or nothing pretty much. So it was really unfortunate that we couldn't get the medium to work, because that would have definitely been a much better tire for us, I would say, purely because it would just hopefully have lasted a little bit longer. But the problem was it would be fine if we just put it in and went straight away like a brand new tire. But as soon as we would stop in the box and go out again, we could never get the tire back up. And it's like a on or off switch. If you haven't got temperature, it's like you're riding around on it feels like the rain almost, whereas it all of a sudden catches the temperature, and all of a sudden you have this full grip. So if you aren't able to bring them back up, you're literally just doing laps, trying to get it to come, but you can't really do anything to get it to where it needs to be. So that was a bit tough, but it was the same for everybody. Going back now, looking at it now, I would have definitely tried to be a little bit cleaner with the way I exited the corners and that. But it was all of us pretty much that ran into deep trouble. My biggest issue was it hit me a couple laps earlier than the other guys. So it was tough, but it was a big learning curve for me. And it's all these small things, it's these lessons that I'm learning so far along the way in MotoGP that are things I'd never have to worry about in the past. And it's cool to have the opportunity to see how all these things work, especially this year. And now for the future, I'll know better.
I mean, it looked vicious at Catalunya. I mean, if I look how Rossi crashed, Oliveira crashed, Zarco crashed, Paul crashed. Just seems that front Michelin, like you said, it's very temperamental. If you don't have 100% temperature, and it's literally 100% temperature, that thing just folds, like a split second like that. There's no feel or anything. I mean, is it literally as harsh as it looks like that?
Honestly, like a lot of the guys crashed in turn 2, and turn 2 all weekend, I never committed to trying to push in that corner once, because each time you turn in, you feel the fronts washing on you. So it's literally just because you go right, and then you have a really long straight. So it just cools a little bit on the left, and as you flick over there, it's so easy just to wash the front. And it's a tricky one, because in qualifying where you have to put in an incredible lap time, you change direction a little bit more aggressive or something, you haven't even put the lean angle yet and you're closing the front. So there's a lot of, it's strange. I've found it now, I've had it at 2 tracks, Misano and here, where you kind of, where the limit is and you want to push, but you're so far from even pushing and the limit's there sometimes. So it's one of those things that you kind of need to learn, and the only way to really know is to make mistakes and learn about it. So it's been quite a tough learning curve so far, but it's been cool. At the end of the day, I am still a rookie and I've got a lot more to learn, but I can't complain with the way things are going. Even on a tough day, I think I'm more competitive than what anyone would have expected at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. I think sometimes we forget, because you've done such an amazing job, we do forget that you are a MotoGP rookie. It just feels like you've been there forever. You look so established on that bike. We sometimes think, shit, this oak's been there for years, but we do forget that you've only been there not even for a year, not even for half a year, and it's been a very tried and testing year with the breakup and everything. So I'm going to now introduce Mr. Donovan Free, who has arrived. Unfortunately, we have to have him on the show, so here he comes. Are you done? Don, how are you doing, man?
Look, 2 things. First of all, Rob, your internet still sucks. Box spoke for the win, yo. The second thing, how are you so calm, Rob? We're all going to die. You know that.
No, well, I just told Brad that my internet's cut because Hurricane Francois is coming here.
Well,
so,
and now we're going to go right in that 4 days. We're going to die. This is like the last feed we're ever doing, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember us.
No, enjoy it, guys. Stay safe out there and wear a jacket.
we're gonna. I got a pack of condoms. I got my Amy brush. I'm ready for the I'm sorted. Quickly, Brad, before Don asks his first questions, a couple of people asking me, and it's something a lot of people ask me, and I can kind of answer it, but I can't. On the MotoGP bike, you obviously get a couple of power modes. Now, during the race, like at Catalunya, we saw Rossi's team like 10 laps in, tell him to switch to power mode 2. We saw the Suzuki team towards the end say switch to power mode 3. Now, all the bikes different, where power mode 1 is like the least power, 2 is a bit more, 3 is the most, or is it the other way around? Because it seemed to me that Suzuki went to power mode 3 at the end, because they always get like a slow start, which I think then they start on a lesser power mode to try and save tire. Then they progress towards the end, put it in power mode 3, full power mode to like make that attack in the final stages. Because on the MotoGP game, power mode 3 is full power mode, and that's what I use right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure how it works on the game, but
Power Mode 3 is extra virgin. 1 is only a bit virgin. That's what it is.
sounds
How does
about
it work
right.
with you? How does it work with you? What is your? Do you get those power mode changes during the race, and when and how? How does it work without giving away
for
too many
sure.
secrets?
Yeah, I mean we have 3 maps in. You have 3 maps of traction control, 3 maps of engine brake, 3 maps of throttle demand, which is basically your power more or less. And it's not if you see mapping 3, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the power. It's the power that you're getting down. It could also be that you just release the traction control a bit or add a little bit more traction control, which makes a huge difference because like for us, we used a tire. It's almost like our tire save map or some like to explain it like that. It's basically so you get to a level of spin where it keeps it there. It doesn't let you spin the thing more to that you lose drive. Well, basically it takes you to a point where you don't go over the curve of like spinning even more and losing more drive than you would if you just kept it constant. So there are a whole lot of different ways to do it, but another thing, it just depends, but I don't think it would have been a problem in Barcelona is the fueling because we only allowed to use, I'm not sure what it is, 21 kilos of fuel or 20 kilos of fuel, or liters of fuel, sorry. Yeah. 21 liters of fuel, I think it is. And if your bike has got a high fuel consumption at that track, you need to use obviously leaner maps. And then if you want, you can make it at the end that you can use more power if your fuel consumption is good enough. So it all just depends. I mean, every team's different. Like for me, the map 1 is the strongest and 3 is the weakest in all 3 things. So in the torque, the traction control, and also the engine brake. So normally when we want to try do something to save the tire a little bit or maybe just chill at the end of the race, just to make it a bit easier, you'll just try maybe drop the power a little bit on some of the exits of the corners. And maybe just, it just depends. Honestly, it's every track's so different, it's hard to explain.
Don?
Okay, I don't know how, I kind of listened a bit in the car, before we got here. Let's see, I don't know, maybe you've answered this. I noticed something, and I don't know if it's correlated or just by chance, but you are faster in FP2 and FP4, compared to everybody else than you are in FP1 and FP3. I don't know because I know FP1 and FP3 are usually colder, and the race, was colder too. Is the cold conditions more of a problem for the KTM, or is it just coincidence and we're going into some really cold races? Is this going to be a problem?
Good question. I mean, I haven't got a clue. Honestly, FP1 is always a challenge because it's normally my first time at the track. So first time at the track on a MotoGP bike is like starting from zero again. You need to figure out how to ride the bike there, how to where to brake and work everything out that way. So I think that explains why my FP1s have been shocking quite often this year. But other than that, the FP3 is quite tough actually, because the problem is you have FP1 and FP2 to really figure everything out, and FP3 is more or less a qualifying because everybody tries to get in straight into the Q2. So if you look at it, I mean, I've done an hour and a half on that track on a MotoGP bike, and then I pretty much need to do a full-on qualifying the next morning. So I haven't done many laps there at all, and I don't quite have everything working perfectly by the time FP3 comes along. So it's always a challenge to try and get directly into the Q2. And when I do, it's great, obviously. So the last couple of weekends have been really good just to go straight through because it definitely helps a lot. And FP4 is always a bit different because FP4 is more of a session where you go out and just you don't do any time attacks. It's more just like you put in the tires and do a longer run. And normally some guys put in new tires, some guys just use your old ones from the morning or whenever you have a spare set with not too many laps on. And you just pretty much work on your rhythm for the race or check how everything would work with more laps on the tires and like a full fuel load and all of that stuff. So I'd say like FP4 is more your kind of like a race simulation type of free practice.
So the colder weather, I mean, going forward, I mean, we're heading more and more into winter in Europe. Is it not going to be a bit of a problem? I mean, is Michelin going to pull up their socks a little bit. I think they got a little bit wrong in Catalonia. I think even they'd admit that. But I mean, for your KTM and you, do you think it's going to be any sort of a problem or not really?
Honestly, I don't think it's for sure. It's got a lot to do with the weather, but it's a lot. The biggest thing for me is maybe when it gets a bit hotter, we lose a bit of grip. When it's super cold, normally a track has, well, not super cold, but when you got, say, 30-degree track temperature, there's a lot more grip rather than it being 50 degrees. So I think when we lose grip, we tend to be better than the other guys or have more of an advantage. But at the same time, coming up now, I can tell you we're cycling today and winter's coming in thick and fast here. It's not so warm anymore. And also Barcelona, the weather wasn't great. Going into Le Mans next week, it's completely different. I heard they were 3 degrees there a few days ago. So it's going to be cold. And the thing is, though, as well, that the main thing is they'll obviously come prepared. So we'll have the softer compounds and the tires that will work well in the cold conditions. So I don't think it will change the end result too much, but I'm really looking forward to getting to all these new tracks again and starting from scratch.
Are you having a lot of fun?
It is fun, but it's challenging at the same time. It's hard. You never want to be at the back. The worst thing for me is I'm not there to fill the grid. I want to win, and it's been hard. It hasn't been easy, and I've just been trying my best, trying to stay focused, trying not to make too many mistakes. But it's tough at the same time. You're going up against these guys that have been doing this riding these bikes for the last 10 years, and our time to really get it right before the race is not much. And in the race, often we're still trying to figure it out. And it's easy to make small mistakes. And small mistakes, unfortunately, just a run off track with now how tight everything is. If you lose a couple seconds in a lap or 2-3 seconds, it's got a huge outcome on the end result. So it's just tough in general, but I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I'm so lucky to be here, and I'm living my dream for sure.
Well, we're kind of living our dreams through you because we all suck, Can't ride bikes. These double rounds where they go one after the other, surely they must help. Okay, as a rookie, that's got to help you out a little bit because you spend more time on the same corners, same everything. Is that a thing?
For sure. I mean, one track that we could really see it clearly this year was in Misano, where I was 12th, I think, in the race, somewhere around there. Terrible weekend, had no speed all weekend, and then FP1 the first day of Misano 2, I finished the day in first. So, that's pretty much the main thing. I did more laps, more time, more experience, and it just, it's strange because you get there, in FP1, you're already at you're at a complete new level already before you've even started. So it gives you that opportunity to really fine tune everything. And if you look at the difference in my lap times, it was insane. I went, I think 1.2 seconds quicker in qualifying in Misano 2 rather than Misano 1. So, to find 0.5 when you're playing on the edge, I guess, is hard, but to find a second is crazy. So it's cool to see that there is that step there. And I think it's going to be good for the future because, when I come to all these tracks for the second time around, the third time now where we've had a double, I've got that in my pocket already and I'm ready to go. So I'm looking forward to revisiting these tracks I've been to, but also at the same time, I've got a whole lot more new tracks to learn next year on this bike too, with our changed schedule from this season.
I think there were people talking about actually making these double races a thing. I mean, it sort of is cheaper and easier and all of that. It has been so interesting. I mean, we like going to different places, but then again, seeing riders ride, if you make a stuff up in the first one, hey, you can get around the next one. It has made it really interesting. I mean, would you go for something like that, or is it as many tracks as possible?
No, I like this different track, different week. I think the best part is you get there Friday, you start your preparation. By Sunday, you're done. You go off and it's a fresh start. The next weekend, you start from scratch and you try again. But whereas now these double weeks are it's tough. It's difficult because it's also a lot of time that you've got to kill in between. And, I find it difficult to it's not difficult, actually. It's exactly like you said. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's everything it's much better for everybody in a way, having them back to back. But for a rider, and I enjoy riding all of the tracks, and I'd rather have it the way it was. And I'm sure we'll go back to normal for next season. I don't see them having these double races, maybe one or two, but I don't see us doing like a double Misano, double Barcelona, double Aragon next year. So at least I really hope not.
What you mean is my dogs are trying to kill each other here, by the way. What you mean between races is you get bored. Races you don't stick around and sit around and relax and all that. You don't know how to do that. Is that sort of right?
It's exactly that. And the thing is also now during this whole COVID thing, we're not allowed to carry on as you normally would. We're not allowed to go to the restaurant for lunch. You're not allowed to do whatever you please. We literally stick in the hotel room, go down for breakfast, go down for lunch, and have dinner in the same place for 2 weeks. So it's weird because you literally lose 3-4 days of your life not being able to do anything. It's almost like being in quarantine. So on one hand, it's the only way I think we can get through a season without losing half the field. And on the other hand, it's just super boring.
Okay, I'm with that. Go on, Rob. You've been quiet. Is your internet really down? Look at you. You're so blurry.
I was been waiting for you to shut that up so I could say something.
Yeah.
I wanna move away from you, Brad, a little bit because we do love you, but there's this other phenomenon that we knew was coming. Your brother, the beautiful man that he is, he's beautiful just like you. He goes and wins his first race. We know it's been coming for a long time, but I love in the one interview you said, and Daz said as well, you guys had a game plan that morning. So take us through waking up that morning. What on a race day? What is you and your brother? Do you wake up, you have breakfast together, share hospitality, and then as it goes separate ways? What happened? Take us through that Sunday in Catalonia that Darryn won his race.
Well, the morning started off like any normal one. Went down, we met for breakfast in reception, and had breakfast, and we were just chatting. And we always, the main thing was I just told him, like, Moto3, you got to plan to win, and if someone slips past or something happens, great, you're still on the podium or fourth place, whatever it may be. But if you've always put yourself in that position where you're fighting for the win or you've got the perfect plan, there's a good chance it's going to go right and a smaller chance that it might go bad. And if it does go bad, you still stand on the podium normally. So we had a little chat, and we said, okay, if you're leading the race, all you need to do is block into turn 10, into that hairpin. You just stay left long enough till the guys go right, and then you got it. It's job done. And that's exactly what he did. So it worked out all right.
Yeah, we said Darren's got the best riding coach in the world. You.
No, old Daz, he's got it under control. He's been so fast throughout this year, and it's this win was overdue for sure. He had it coming long ago, and for him to get it the way he did was perfect as well. It was, no one crashed, no one did anything wrong. He was there from start to finish. You could visually see he was the strongest guy on track. And when he crossed that line, it was one of the best days of my MotoGP career so far.
I mean, okay, his results don't show it, but he's been riding phenomenally well. I mean, Misano, I'm going to say he was a victim of misfortune rather than kind of, making mistakes or riding too hard or anything like that. But even Red Bull, all of that, he's riding really, really well. He's just had bad luck.
Literally, it's so hard for me as his brother because I check all the hard work he puts in, and I see he's got all the potential. It's all there. The speed's there. Everything's there. And then he comes home and and the result's not what he wanted again, or a small crash or got taken out or something went wrong, and it's tough. That's the biggest thing for, I'd say, in any sportsman's career is the tough days are way more than the good ones. And it's strange because you know it's coming. You can believe that you're going to get there, but when it's not quite happening, it's always tough to just keep going. And old Daz he's he's had a tough time for sure, but he's got it right now. So that's always going to stay.
Do you think this is like signs to come? I mean, has he kind of worked it out now?
I think it is. I think from here on out, once you've done it once, or at least I remember for me, once it's happened once, it happens the next time, and then it happens one more time, and then all of a sudden it feels normal, and it doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. You kind of know you can do it, and when you do, great, and when you don't, you really understand what you did wrong as well. So I think this is going to be a good thing for him, and just confidence as well. It goes a long way. Once you win one, it's really easy to win more, and I think he's got it under control.
How upset are you going to be when he gets to MotoGP and starts kicking your ass?
I think I'll be the happiest guy on earth. Honestly, it's amazing to watch my brother do well. And I think my internet went down, Darren.
No, you.
It can't be worse than Rob's. Don't worry.
You see, even the internet in Spain.
Check if the internet's working on your phone.
It's routing through your Boxbook garbage. That's what it is.
No, it's not. Yeah, he's resetting it now. He must be resetting it now because he's frozen on a not too bad face to freeze on.
That's actually quite not a bad face, is it? Normally it's like.
Normally it's like just before you're about to hit the pothole in your car on the bike and you pull that Chinese face.
Are you ready to die like over the next 4 days, Rob?
Dude, I've still got to somehow finish the magazine tonight, and I still have a BMW article to do and the PE trip to do, and that's like 6,000 words. So yeah, I'm going to do that. We've got to be at Ducati at 4:30 tomorrow morning. So
basically,
I'm not going to sleep. No,
okay.
I'm not going to sleep. They'll read. Don't worry, they'll read. Got the link.
We got
look who's joining us.
Who's that?
No, Tom Booth Amos, World Supersport 300 winner at Catalunya. Did you see that? Because Tom Booth Amos gave Darren tips on how to win around Catalunya. Courtney, Brad will be back now. Laugh out loud, Wi-Fi problem. You see, Boxberg rules.
Okay.
Boxberg
Courtney is the brain of the operation. You've got Darren and Brad, and then there's Courtney. She's like the one that's like, okay, guys, calm down.
Boxberg's better than Spain. That's all I can say.
Look, all I'm saying is Ramberg's still winning, okay?
You know what? Whatever, man. You can keep your Ramberg cock. I don't know what's happening. Literally the last 3 days. Last night I had we had like load shedding, no power last night. This morning, my internet's been crap, and I'm on deadline, and I've got to leave tomorrow. It always just happens like that. You know what I'm saying?
So you're going to get no sleep tomorrow. Not a load joking, ladies and gentlemen. 4:30 in the morning, we have to be at Pretoria because Jos, the man behind it, he's going to, hey, we've got international flavor. James Flitcroft. That sounds like a... No, it says very clearly there, James Flitcroft. If you guys don't know, he's also international star, friend of the Binders, etc. And his name sounds like something like a World War II Air Force pilot, part of the RAF, Baron James Flitcroft. And it's a Binder. Hello.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but
Oxford is better in Spain.
I'd love to blame Hurricane Francois, but I don't think it was.
Hurricane Enrique struck the Binder house.
Yeah.
Now listen, before we go any further, I've got a little problem here with you and Daz. Okay.
Yeah.
About a month ago, I did a club race at Red Star Raceway on our beautiful Ducati Panigale V4R, which is no longer after my brother got hold of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a tremendous launch where I went from the second row of the grid. I got it and I whole shot it by like 10 days. Okay. Someone put the video up, and you and your prick went and commented that I don't know how to launch, you'll teach me how to launch. I then spoke to you the next day with Sean Meredith while I was buying my groceries at Woolworths. You guys carried on laughing at me because I don't know how to launch a motorbike. But you, my friend, Catalonia. What happened?
Yeah.
In your
no,
defense,
listen, Uncle
something
Rob. Look, as I watched your start, and look, I know you're a machete, but that wasn't your finest work. But
it was a whole shot for like 10 days. So how can it not be my finest work? What are you talking?
I don't know. Just listen, the style just wasn't there. Style just wasn't there, Uncle Rob. I expect more from you.
It doesn't matter. Well, what happened to you in Catalonia?
Well, let's just say.
We care about
Let's
you,
just
Rob.
say I had a small issue with some slipping the clutch until I braked. So that's why I went from first till not first, from 10th until last.
No, okay, so he's got a mechanical issue. Rob, you're just crap, okay?
Listen.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know what? So what happened was I watched Uncle Rob start and I tried to mimic it, and that's actually what went wrong.
Yes, that's right. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. Take the cool uncle. Cool. Don't worry about it. Listen, but apparently you did it. Clutch problems, and then it only like reactivated going into turn one. By then you had, I think it was Bradle or Marquez almost take you out. I mean, it was a crap start, eh? It was really a crap start.
Yeah, it was terrible. I got, well, as soon as I dropped the clutch to try and get off the line. It was just in the limiter the whole time because my clutch was slipping. So I ended up shifting gears and just trying to get it to come loose, but it just slipped the whole way till turn one. And luckily, when on the back run into turn one, it must have come loose. So, unfortunately, that made my 10th place qualifying. I thought it wasn't too bad, pretty worthless because I went in probably like 20th. But anyway, the biggest problem was if you arrive in turn one and you got so much less speed than everyone else behind you, you just get swamped. And when you're not the guy coming in and being the aggressive one and putting the other guys out, you could stand no chance. So just pretty much getting through turn 1 and 2, and then I had to try, which didn't help having to look after my tire either, for sure. But I'll go one Rob and I'll
Spain.
No,
internet.
He was about to praise me, and now it's gone frozen. He was about to praise me.
In Spain, you're not allowed to praise Rob.
Oh, you bastard! We'll wait for him to join them.
I've got a good basis he was pulling previously. Right, there we go. You're back.
Yeah, there he is.
With the Spanish like to borrow some South African internet.
Yeah, you see. Yes, they're even worse than us.
Darryn. He's working.
No, he's gonna
worse than Boxburg.
No, whatever, man. Whatever.
No, I'm going to mock Boxburg forever, but right now Spain isn't doing so good.
I think I'm back. I'm back on the Wi-Fi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Sup?
Good man. We're gonna wrap it up with you, Brad, because as much as we love you, we love your brother a little bit more right now. Don, sure. Final question for Brad, because I don't want to talk to him anymore because he tells me I don't know how to launch a motorbike.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were riding a V4R at Red Star and your name was Rob Portman, would you like a whole shot at that by like 30 seconds easily? Definitely.
Well, listen, I don't want to say. Well, if I got to start like in Barcelona, definitely not. But I actually need to do. I need to. I'll give Uncle Rob a call in private later, and he's gonna have to explain to me how to get a whole shot because I haven't had one in so long. I forgot what it feels like.
now you see. Now you're talking. It's all about the touch. People get it wrong. It's about the touch in the field.
I'm just saying, luck. Jesus.
I'll keep that in mind next time.
Good man, Brad. Thank you so much for joining us. I know Courtney's there waiting for you to go help her cook food and do the dishes. So we're going to hand you over to your beautiful girlfriend who's now finally with you there. Just all the best for the rest of the season, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Like, I really appreciate it. I know it's such a hectic schedule, and for you guys to do this really does mean a lot. You're a beautiful man. I'll carry on telling you you're a beautiful man in all your debriefs, so everyone in the world thinks that we are romantically involved.
Sweet. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me on the show again. And here's Dazzo.
Thanks, B.
Enjoy. Cheers, guys.
It's always so nice. How annoying is that? I can't
No, here he is.
Look at this guy. Look at that guy.
There he is. The world greatest. Listen, have I ever told you you're a beautiful man?
Hey, I think I've heard it once or twice.
Yes, you just look like a Moto3 race. You just look like you win races now.
Oh, shut. Thanks, Uncle Rob.
I'm going to say it again, okay? You beautiful man. You beautiful. I don't just cry. Okay, I cried in Marley and Me. I cried in Avengers Endgame. I cried when my kids were born. I cried when I proposed to my wife. Like, I cried often with my wife. But other than that, I cried when Brad won, and then I cried on Sunday. Beautiful man that I love so much. Just did what I know what he does best, and he just destroyed everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I'm glad you shed a tear for me. Thanks, Uncle Rob. Means a lot.
Did you held it together really well, like your brother at Brno. Please tell me you guys cried at least a little bit, so I can know that you Steele does cry.
Yeah, I know. It was close, but not that close.
No, man, these are real men who shout out loud, Rob, not like you little pansy ass. Come on.
I looked at Brad when I came in and I saw his eyes were a little bit glassy, and I was like, we'll be all right, don't worry.
Listen, women love men that cry. Let me just tell you, Amy loves it when I cry. She cuddles me and she loves it. So just shed a tear. Des, you're a remarkable human being. That was absolutely fantastic. Brad told us kind of the game plan heading into the race. You looked fantastic the whole weekend. What gelled that weekend? Like what finally just came together? Was it literally just a case of no bad luck, no one taking you out, no curbs that were falling off the end of the earth for you to crash on? Did it all just come together?
Yeah, it just all came together. I mean, nothing changed. It wasn't anything specific to say that it had changed. I mean, we rocked up. I got to the front in Misano 2 again, and unfortunately I crashed. And yeah, I mean, everything was there. I mean, I'd come from so far back. I had really good pace that race. And yeah, we rocked up in Brno, and I wanted to be fast from the first practice, and Friday was a bit strange because it was really windy, but I felt really good. And then Saturday I carried on going. I managed to qualify semi-decent for a change. And yeah, I just felt really good. And I knew that I stood a really good chance in Barcelona. I mean, last year I had a really good race there until the second last lap. I got cleaned out at turn 10, but I was also fighting for the podium. And yeah, I knew that I could definitely be strong here after all the practices and that.
I'm going to say, okay, we've said this to a few people because people are stupid. Your Misano races particularly. I mean, you were riding I'm going to actually say you were riding as well as you did now in Catalonia. But I mean, the outcomes were, to me, it looked more like misfortune than anything else. I mean, bad luck even.
Yeah, I mean, Misano 1, I felt super fast, like I did in Barcelona, and I was running in the front, and yeah, I got caught out on that curb, Obviously, I had a little moment on the curb, but unfortunately, because it had such like a big step at the end of it, when only the rear wheel fell down there, obviously, I just had no chance, it flicked me straight off, and yeah, I mean, obviously, it's my fault for running on the curb. Like I came up a little bit high and it let go and I got caught out. But I mean, I didn't feel like I overrode because I'd been flat out from like 20 meters before that curb already. That corner's almost pinned coming onto the straight. So yeah, I mean, that was just really, I felt like it was a bit unfortunate. And then yeah, coming into the second one, I thought, okay, well, now, I've got another opportunity. I'm going to do it again. And unfortunately, I qualified bad because the pace was just incredible the second weekend. Everybody was doing these insane lap times. I mean, I did the fastest lap of the race in the first one, and I went like a second under that in the second weekend, and I didn't even make it into Q2. So, I mean, it was ridiculous. But obviously then in the race, I was able to run that lap and come through the pack again. And I took a very different approach. I really took my time to get to the front. And I just kept chipping away, getting there. And with 5 laps to go, I was finally in the fight for the podium again. And coming into turn 1, Fanati sat up Arenas and I had Messia on my inside, and I was a little bit on the outside, and I had these guys slowing down in front of me. So obviously I was on the brakes quite hard to slow down, but what happened was when I was on the bumps, I managed to hook first gear without pulling the clutch in, like by mistake. My foot hit it and it went into gear. And I mean, putting those bikes into first with no clutch, it just locked the gearbox and sent me flying. So yeah, it was not cool. And it really, those 2 crashes, they hurt me, and I felt very secondhand after that. So yeah, I mean, I was just glad to walk away okay, and obviously the team, they were like, we've got everything, we have got all the pieces of the puzzle, they weren't like upset with me or anything, we just need to keep working. And I'm just glad that finally things worked out in Barcelona.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna ask this. That crash at Misano 2, dude, could you see your house from there? Seriously?
Yes. When that thing threw me up and I looked down and I was busy doing like a front flip, I was like, oh, this one's really gonna hurt. I was so glad that I was all right.
It's one of those that always goes slow motion and you're kind of going, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like fake.
The worst was from the first Misano one, I hurt my heel a little bit, and like it was just kind of getting better, but I still I didn't feel great, and I landed on the exact same one, hit the ground again, and I was like, no, come on. Yeah, so it really wasn't cool.
Go on, Rob.
Just quickly take us through Catalonia. We saw the MotoGP bikes and the Michelin tires really struggle there, and we know that you being one of the taller riders at some of the tracks, you do tend to work your tires a little bit more. What made it work in Catalonia? Is it the fact that you've got the long straight where the tires get to cool down, and it's more like fast flowing corners rather than a lot of stop start corners where your weight with the KTM driving out of the turn seems to hamper you a bit? Because your fastest section was those last 2 right handers onto that front straight. Like, you were just phenomenal, and it obviously clearly it helps because you won the race, but clearly a track like that where it's fast turns. Coming onto the straights just benefits you in particular and the KTM.
Yeah, I mean, Moto3 is very different with the tires compared to MotoGP. We didn't have quite any problems like them, But yeah, the race, a lot of people, it was a bit of a mix. Obviously, in the front, we all use the medium because the soft doesn't work too great. And then in the back, we have the soft and the hard. And I always favor the soft. I really, really like it 90% of the tracks. It gives me a lot more confidence stopping, and that it helps. And yeah, I mean, sometimes it does wear a little bit, but you have to kind of ride a little bit cleaner. But I mean, going into the race, I had no doubt that I was going to run that. And only after the race did I know really who used what. And yeah, I was the only guy on the podium with the soft, and the other guys used the hards. And I mean, at the end of the race, the hard looked more destroyed than my soft. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the way my bike set up and that, and I think it definitely benefited me in Catalonia, because I felt like towards the end of the race that I was able to still open the gas, especially like coming out of turn 3 to turn 4, that long right. I felt like I was getting really good drive on the guys there, and I was able to make passes. And yeah, also coming onto the straight, the main straight, you come on in 4th gear, so it's quite a fast corner, and I felt like even though I'm heavy and that, and as long as I get in the slip and I get a really good exit onto that straight, my bike is fast, and it was really helping me. I mean, I was able to pass people at the end of the straight. And so, yeah, Catalonia was a place that had worked in my favor. And we've also been playing with the engine mileage and that, we've only got so many engines. So I've really been sacrificing Fridays and sometimes Saturdays, using the older engines to save the good ones for Sunday, so that I have a stronger bike and I can play more in the race. And Catalonia, I waited until Sunday morning to put in the new one, and yeah, I mean it helped because it was performing really well.
I'm going to actually want to ask a slightly technical question. Sorry, everyone at home who doesn't quite understand this. Just about how you use your tires and that. I was kind of noticing the way you come out of the corner for a lot of them. It looks more like a MotoGP style, where the others are kind of running very sort of rounded corners. You're almost kind of standing the bike up but taking a more, shall we say, pointed line. You like square the corner off more. Is there a reason for that, or is it just you? Or
I think it's a little bit the KTM, to be quite honest. I feel like the KTM, you either have to be really hard on the brake coming into the corner and release and get straight on the gas. You know, that neutral position, it really doesn't like it, I would like to say. Maybe that's just the way my bike's set up. But so, yeah, I like to come in, have that brake until the absolute last moment, echo and open the gas immediately. And so I try and square it off, basically, you know, come in, start, pick it up and get out. And I feel that it also helps with the tire. And as long as you can pick it up and try get off that side of the tire, not hang for so long, it'll definitely benefit you in the long run.
I want to know about your second lap. I mean, last lap, phenomenal, brilliant. Your second last lap, that was kind of okay. You were in second. I think you had opportunities to go to first, but you didn't take them.
Yeah, I mean, Foggia came to the lead, and I did a few laps behind him, and he's 7 kilos lighter than me, and his bike's an absolute missile. So, I mean, I thought about it, and I was like, I know I can stay in front of him. Like, obviously, when I was riding behind him, I saw where I felt like I was stronger in that. And I knew if he led down the main straight, if I just left a little gap coming onto the main straight, heading into the last lap, I would get up right behind him, and I don't think anybody else would be able to slipstream past me, you know. So that was kind of my game plan, and it worked out. And then I was going to have a look going into turn 4, and I just didn't get close enough. And then when we came out of 4 into 5, I was like, okay, now's my chance. I need to go. And I mean, it worked out pretty sweet that he went a bit wide and Arbellino came up the inside as well. That gave me a little bit of a cushion as well. And yeah, I mean, it worked out.
My question is, and Antoinette Barnard also asked you, do you have a front brake lever on that bike?
I have a front and a back one, and I use them plenty.
You still waiting for everyone else to break and then count to 3?
Yeah, you know, I try sometimes. If I have to, I can do it. But otherwise, yeah, if I don't have to, I just chill it out a little bit.
Now, Daz, just quickly, you've done this brilliant job. You've signed for the Petronas team for next year. We'll talk about that kind of the whole deal just now. The Honda, I don't know if you've ever sat on one of those Honda Moto3 bikes and that before. We know it's got its strengths, especially accelerating out of the turns compared to the KTM. It kind of matches it on speed. It is a little bit faster, but size-wise, it looks like a smaller bike compared to the KTM. I mean, have you sat on a bike? Does it feel comfortable?
You know, I haven't actually had a chance to sit on one yet, so I couldn't really tell you. But yeah, there's some big guys on the Hondas as well. I mean, like if you look at Philip Salak, he's a really big kid. He's taller than me, and I mean, he looks comfortable enough. He looks more comfortable on that thing than what he did last year. Like I'm talking just like body position in the straights and stuff. So I don't think it's super small, like tucking in wise. But I mean, yeah, I've got a bump out on my Moto3 on my KTM, you know, so I don't go all the way back just for the aerodynamics and all that. But yeah, I mean, they're small and it is what it is.
Take us through this deal quickly. Sorry, Don, just quickly. First of all, how did it come about? Well, I know that you've got the same manager as Brad, Mr. Bob Moore, who's a sensational piece of kit as well, another beautiful man. So, I mean, how did these negotiations come around? Did he just phone you one day and say, listen, I've got this deal. I think we should take it. And second of all, how hard was it accepting another year in Moto3? Was it basically, okay, let me do this because there's a chance of Moto2? Or, I mean, how does that all work?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said, listen, there's no ways I'm doing another year in Moto 3. I want to go to Moto 2. And we had been talking to Moto 2 teams, and it was actually during the first two Jerez rounds after the whole thing we restarted. We were already talking to some Moto 2 teams, and they weren't. I hadn't got the greatest of offers from them. And then after it was off Monday morning after the first Jerez race, I crashed out of it on the last lap or second last lap. I woke up and I picked my phone up and I had a message from my manager, from Bob, and he's like, listen, Petronas called me and they're interested in you, but they want you to do another year in Moto 3. And I said to him, I called him up and I heard what the deal was and whatever, and I said, I think it's not a bad option, and I thought about maybe waiting it out a bit longer to see if I would get like any good offers in Moto 2, but the offer from Petronas was really good, and I thought, I'm going to jump on it now and get things done before, if something happens, something changes, and the next thing I don't have this opportunity. So yeah, I mean, I jumped straight on it. I went down to breakfast that morning at the hotel, and it was the same hotel that Razlan and Johan Stigefeld is staying in, and they walked up to the table and they said, have you heard of your manager? And I'm like, no, I spoke to him. And they're like, yeah, so we're really interested in having you next year. And I'm like, no, I'm super keen on it, and let's get this thing done, So yeah, from there on, obviously contracts go back and forth between my manager and the team. And then when things were all agreed on, that was it. So yeah, I mean, I still wish I was going straight to Moto 2. But unfortunately, well, they want me to really come to them in Moto 3. They feel like together we can fight for a championship. And I mean, I think it would be really cool if I could go and do something awesome with them in Moto 3, step up and maybe even go all the way with them. That would be something really special. And yeah, I mean, can't complain. I mean, I've just won my first Moto 3 race, so another year, if I could get a few more of those and be fighting in the front all the time, it would be pretty awesome.
You're taking a
I'm gonna cry again.
That's it.
I'm gonna cry again. I'm gonna cry again. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, man. You really are beautiful,
thanks,
man.
Bud.
I got a question for Rob. Rob, how happy did
Yeah.
the Soak look on the podium? You're standing there, South African national anthem. Have you ever seen teeth that small? Did your face hurt? You were like even bigger than that. What you got now? Was your face actually sore after that?
No, I wasn't thinking about that. I'll tell you what, though, my voice was almost gone by the time I got to the box. I was shouting that whole slowdown lap.
My voice was almost gone. So yeah, I can imagine how yours was. I can tell you now that wait and see the magazine, the second issue of Motor Rider World that comes out tomorrow, because it's just a beautiful shot. And I spoke to your dad, Trevor, after the race on Sunday, actually late Sunday, and we spoke about how happy you looked and how you looked up to make sure the South African flag was there, and like how you looked and made sure that it was like almost like you knew what this was all about, but like you ain't gonna miss anything. You're gonna soak this
a few times, or what was it?
Hey?
I was gonna say, did you like pinch yourself a few times? Check the flag, check everything. Is this real?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Obviously, I've seen Brad stand up there before, and I always look at the flag, and my favorite part's the national anthem, and you stand there, and yeah, I just wanted to take it all in for myself. I've been working towards this day for a while, and it's one thing to get on the podium, but it's another thing to see your flag in the middle and hear your national anthem. And I really wish that all the fans were there and everything was normal, so we could have gone out and had a little bit of a bender, but yeah, it was still pretty cool.
But let me tell you, dude, I'm definitely coming to some MotoGP races next year, if we can fly in that, because James, yeah, no, James is going to take me, no one else. Do you know that you'll be having breakfast and lunch in the same hospitality as a certain Rossi?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think I'm looking quite forward to that. That's going to be really cool. I mean, to say I'm in the same team as him is pretty awesome, even if I'm 3 or 2 categories lower. But yeah, it's very cool, man.
So when Brad beats Rossi, are you going to give him hell? Go into like, you suck.
Yeah, no, he's always been my hero, but I'm sorry, there's a new guy in town now that's got all my support.
Yes, I like that. You beautiful man. What a beautiful man. I love that answer. Good answer. But now, quickly, Don, just before you get your question, now I've lost my train of thought, you bastard. You see, now what was I going to say?
You can't think.
I was going to say, no, I can't think good. I can't think good. Nice one, Don. Daz, what is the potential here of doing a Jack Miller? Let's forget Moto 2 for a second.
The same thing. I mean, Moto 2. Come on. I mean, Rossi's getting old now. He's a pensioner. Let's just
2021, Rossi's gone. MotoGP.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good to me. Where do I sign? But yeah, I think it's not a bad thing to go through Moto 2, but I tell you what, I'd do it. Why not?
Well, I'm thinking now. I mean, if you do go straight into or get into MotoGP at any stage, and it's you and Brad, I'm kind of wondering, do you think the dynamic will change a little bit? Or I know you guys dig each other and all of that, but come now, you got to kick his ass.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. I think if anybody's going to kick his ass and he'd be all right with it, it would be me. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, I think it would be pretty cool to race against Brad, but I'd definitely have to bring my A game to fight with old Brado.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
This is a little bit unreal, isn't it? Having, we're saying, okay, 2 things. I mean, you've got yourself and Brad, 2 brothers, one. You had Luca and Rossi, 2 brothers at one. And they let Brad into the podium, what's it called, the Parc Fermé station. And as far as I know, they're not supposed to do that. I mean, that's got to be kind of special. It's put it through. I think the most liked photograph ever in South Africa is the picture of you and Brad hugging. I mean, come now.
When I came in, I saw him standing there, and he was standing next to my crew chief, and they were just a meter away, and I hold my bike there while my mechanic put my stand in, and I looked and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the jump and grab him, And then I could see the dude was waiting for me. He was stood right there, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait. I'll go there. I'll do the whole knuckles thing, whatever. And then I knew once I had the mask on and stuff, then they kind of chill out a little bit, and then they let him come around, and it was really cool.
I want to know after that. So you went up you did the podium and all of that. I think there were some press conferences and things. And I mean, Brad spoke about it, Bruno, getting back to the box. I mean, it's like ages later. But I mean, what was it like going back to the box and then your team, finally it's delivered? It's delivered.
No, it was super cool. I mean, I've got a really cool team this year. They're such awesome guys. They really worked so hard. And I mean, it's been a long time coming for us. We've been so close so many times, and to finally get it done was awesome. To come back, and I was really, really chuffed to get my first win with these guys.
What did they say? Was it were there tears? Were they what was it like?
I don't know. It's difficult to say, but I mean, I looked at my crew chief and I'm like, thank you, and he's just like, he's told me 100 times that I can win, and all we had to do was just keep believing and keep working, and it would happen,
Let me tell you why you want. Let me tell you why you won in Catalonia. It's not because you have massive amounts of talent. It's not because you're a beautiful man. No, it's because your auntie Amy. Where is it? Let me put that up on my wall. Now, Auntie Amy doesn't let me put anything up on my one picture of myself racing on my wall. So that is why you dominated. But now my other question is, look here.
What is that? I can't see it from here.
It's a nice canvas picture from
Boxberg. It's all blurry. Tell us again.
Listen, Arseface, it's that painting of Darryn Binder from Michael Rogers' art. But more importantly, no, shut up, Arseface. Listen here now quickly. Sheridan's just come back from overseas and he's brought me his replica helmet. I have my nice replica helmet. Let me show you what a dodgy helmet collection I have here. Okay. Look at that.
We can't see any of it. It's all blurry.
I have one helmet in my helmet collection. Now, Darren, let's talk business here, my friend.
Let's talk business.
I'll give you 100 Rand cash. 100 Rand cash for one of those helmets.
Gee whiz, how can I pass that offer up, man?
And I've seen like 7 of those things in the Arrow truck. So don't even lie to me.
Yeah.
Okay, 150 Rand cash.
I'll tell you what, let's keep the bid going until December and we see where you're at.
So we already have two section. I'll go 500. How's that? Who you guys?
500.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna come to Portimao with James Denton. I'll just steal one.
Yeah, that's it. Just grab it and run.
What are you? What's so tell us now quickly the for the rest of the year. We asked Brad this question and we said, is this like is this the icebreaker now? Is this going to be a different Darryn Binder now going forward? And Brad said, certainly from his side, once he picked up that first win, it's never easy, but it just felt easier to get the job done because you've proven to yourself, and especially from where you've come from so many times where you've been there. You've come so close, the bad luck, people doubting you. I'm sure at some stage you must have doubted yourself. Like I said to people the other night, I know from your dad, almost in tears, sometimes saying, Darren's going to call it quits. He's going to come home and just work in the factory. How are you feeling now? So, is it now like I'm going to go into obviously you went into every race before thinking you can win. And now you can win. Is it a different mindset now? Even when you're training and riding your bicycle, is it like now, now I'm going to dig even deeper than ever, and now everyone's going to die?
100%. This whole year I felt really good, and I've been close, but to finally get it done, definitely, I don't know. I feel relieved almost, because I've been pushing for that for a while, and things haven't always worked out, but things are really good this year, and I've got it done now. I've got my ride sorted for next year, so everything, I've got no worries. It's just go out there and have fun. The more good results I get this year, the closer to the front I'm going to be in the championship, the better I feel for next year. So I just want to go out there, have fun, and do my best. And I know I can do it. So that's it. Now's the chance.
Cry again.
Rob, but you need to go spend a week in the Binder household. I'll travel. He'll toughen you up. You don't shed tears for free.
Listen, I haven't felt the touch of a woman in 7 months now.
I'm sure travel. You'll let Shaz give you a hug and you'll feel better.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, real men cry. Don't let anyone fool you. Michael White, Doris domination. What's that now? # Doris domination.
Oh no. Oh, Michael, him and old Uncle Trev, they always used to call me Doris when I was young because I had long hair. They're always ripping me.
Who's laughing now, Michael? Who's laughing now?
Superbike, yeah, shade, very cute.
Daz, listen now. Going forward, what tracks are you looking forward to the most now? What tracks do you look at and go, yeah, I can do that again?
Le Mans.
Yeah,
Le Mans in 2017, I made a nice mistake on the last lap and I crashed out a second. And I've always enjoyed Le Mans. It's quite a cool track, and who knows what the weather's going to throw at us there. And it's going to be a home race for CIP, so I'm really looking forward to it. And all of them really. The only one that I'm not sure about is Portimao because I've never been there, but that also makes it pretty cool. So
we've been there. Just ask us. We'll tell you everything.
I'll be on the phone to you guys. Which way do I go? Yeah.
No joke. It's like that. That place is a roller. It's got like 15 blind risers, and I kid not. I think Rob and I both for our first 2 sessions. You're going up the blind risers like in the middle of the track because you have literally no idea where the track is going to go next. You're just going up there, kind of praying, please let it go left. Please let it go left. It's like that.
No, I think it's going to be very cool on Moto 3.
Just don't eat anything.
Yeah, that
you will cotch over the hill. You'll cotch as you come over the hill and down the hill. You'll everywhere. I can promise you.
Are you going to ride Portimao at all before you actually go race there?
Unfortunately not, eh?
Come on. Make it happen.
When? I mean, I've got this weekend off and I've got one other weekend free until the end of the year. So it's really not so easy. I mean, yeah, Brad's going there on Tuesday, or I think Tuesday, because they've got a MotoGP test for the guys, and then you're allowed to ride on like standard superbikes or something. So Brad's allowed to go and check it out. But yeah, unfortunately, not going to get a chance to check it out till the race. But we do have an extra practice or like extra hour or something. So,
on what standard superbike is Brad going to ride? Because KTM don't have a standard superbike. Is it a super variant?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's
you do.
Yeah, James, you do, but my van is warm and ready. Let's hit it, brother. There we go. He's volunteered. Go on.
Oh, James, he's always volunteering for everything.
I like him. He sounds like it should be Baron James Flipcroft. It's such a kind of upper class name, Flipcroft.
My teammate that dropped it for us.
I know, and he's like, he sounds posh, but he's actually the stiff British bastard. He really is just a stiff Well, I love it. So there's a little bit internal here. Who is going to be your teammate in that Petronas team next year? Has that because there's also this talk that McPhee could be going to the Moto2 class, and I mean, do you know anything? Can you say anything?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be quite honest right now. At the beginning, I thought that he was going up and that Paui was going to be my teammate, and right now I'm not really sure what's happening with John. And I mean, yeah, nothing's been said, so I haven't exactly asked any questions. I'm not really too bothered. I mean, my side of the deal's done, so whoever it is. So yeah, I'm really not sure.
Let me tell you. So James is saying, give me a break here. Let me tell you what pisses me off about James, because he comes to South Africa, rides our bikes at Kalami, and then like when you're surrounded by all these little girls and that, and then you this chubby, hairy little South African editor of a magazine and stuff, and then he rocks up and he says, "Hello, love," and then they just all go, "Oh, bangers and mash. Hello, love. Can I have some more, please?" And then they all like just all over him. That's why I hate you, James, because they're just all cool because of your accent, you stiff British bastard.
No, remember lockdown, we weren't allowed to drink alcohol. It was because between Tom and James, they finished all of it. All of it is nothing left.
They tried their best.
They drank all of South Africa's booze, and it cost them about 50p.
Listen, Des, before we let you go, what did you make supper tonight? I can hear Brad and Courtney just slaving away in the back there. What was the deal?
Yeah, it's so good to have old Courts back here. She's cooked us up a mean meal tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. I can see them munching away.
Has she put you to work? Has she made you clean your room, do the dishes, clean up after yourself?
Of course, she doesn't let me lift a finger. She's the best. She comes here, looks after us like true kings.
I like Courtney. She doesn't. She won't make Brad have a giraffe, but I like her.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she might be warming up to the whole giraffe thing.
By the way, there's a giraffe.
She's nodding her head. It's a no.
Okay. Just hang on. I've got breaking news there. That Jugamara place I was at over the weekend. There's Justin. He's commented now. They've got giraffes there. One is about to give birth. Whether it's a boy or girl, its name is going to be Brad.
Oh, that's cool, eh? That's really cool.
Giraffe named after him. That's an honor.
You have to go visit it.
Named after a female giraffe. Jesus.
It's going to be one fast giraffe.
Well, I like your moves, Des. Listen, I don't know if I've ever said it to you, but you are a beautiful man. And, I absolutely love it. Like, I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know it's you must hate it when you see Uncle Rob or whatever you've got me saved as on your phone come up nagging you and hounding you to do these kind of things. But I really appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Appreciate it. We've got comments flying here. You've always had the support. You've had one or two of the arseholes that don't know what to say and are just very but 99% of South Africa truly supports you. And what you did on Sunday, I can tell you now, you had everyone rooting for you, and you had everyone standing up for you. You had everyone just cheering for you, and you've got all our support going forward. And we wish you nothing but the best, Machana. Really.
Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it, and to everybody that supported me all the way. And yeah, it's awesome. You know, I mean, after the weekend, yes, my phone's been going crazy, and yeah, every time you open any social media and I just see photos of myself, it's pretty cool. So yeah,
let me tell you, you broke Facebook on Sunday, dude. You broke Facebook on Sunday.
No, it's awesome, man. I really, really appreciate all the support.
Cool.
Don, final words?
Mate, you know what? I don't know. For some weird reason, it's like it was in a way better than when Brad first did it. That array. I mean, Brad's arranged back to front sort of thing was incredible. But this one, I don't know. It was like it was more weird. It was like more down to home. You know, it's just more like homegrown kind of thing. It's got this. I kind of felt that it's like, yes, Bobo, yes, you did it. We all know you're a rock star. We've always known you're a rock star, and I'm glad you got to prove to everybody out there that you're a rock star, because you are a rock star, my friend.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It took way too long, but hey.
Yeah, don't take that.
There better be a couple more rolling in pretty soon, eh?
Rock and roll.
Let me tell you, dude, when I first met you and you were 7 years old, stealing all my racing kit before I could even go on track, I never ever, well, I did kind of know, but I never thought I'd be this big fanboy of Darryn and Brad Binder. I mean, I'm a serious fanboy. I'm just gonna say it. Everyone knows it. I'm a serious fanboy, and it's just carry on. Hey?
Thanks, bud.
Darryn, you brought Rob to tears. The poor guy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. He's brought me to tears too with his singing, but maybe in a different way.
Hey, what you talking here now? Don't even go there. Listen,
Bobby Idol.
Listen, don't even go there. But we'll leave it on that horrible note. Listen, anyway, I said it to Brad, and I'll say it to you. Don't ever make fun of my starts again, because your brother hasn't got a clue how to launch. And
what do you mean? I started 9th. I went into the first corner like 5th or 6th, man. I had
it's because you have no brakes. It's because you don't use brakes. You don't believe in this thing called brakes. I do.
It's not easy to get this big ass off the line on that little elephant of mine.
No, listen, but I never want to hear that again. I am the master at launches. When you're back in South Africa, I will have a launch with you and I will destroy you. And I'm just telling you that right now. Even though I'm a fan, I'll destroy you wearing my Darryn Binder cap and shirt, like just to make it. You got destroyed by yourself.
We're both plucky same time.
Listen, last thing. Are we going to see? And I actually got a missed call from Sean yesterday, Sean Meredith, and I haven't replied to him, so he probably hates me because you guys think you're busy, like I'm even more busy. Are we going to see a King of Catalonia Darryn Binder shirt? I think we need to work on one.
Yes, I have no idea. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm going to work
on one. What do you guys think? Should we do it?
Let's see. All right, everyone, you've got 20 seconds to comment. Do you want to see a King of Catalonia Darryn Binder shirt?
Very quickly.
He'll make us all cry again. Nutrition.
We speak, and then the comments come like 20, 30 seconds later. See what you did there, Rob?
That's a cock internet in Spain, but I can tell you now. There we go. Do it. Yes. Do it for sure. Yeah. Yes. I need one of those. Yes. What's it say? Hey. Rob Portman is the greatest rider ever to live. He's so handsome, and I wish I could marry him. Oh, thanks, man. Yes. Yes.
I think you read one of the messages from your wife.
Yeah.
I didn't see the one coming in the comment.
Listen, democracy is.
I think we'll have to do it, eh?
Democracy is spoken. You don't have a choice. I mean,
we'll have to hit up old Smashton.
Oh,
I'll return his call 3 days later and I'll tell him to listen. I'll do the design for approval.
Listen, the Catalonia shirt has to have bananas on it, okay?
Bananas. Hey,
Your banana
why
shirt.
not?
It's gonna be a banana shirt, okay? Give me Catalonia banana. Done.
Oh gosh.
Well, Daz, go enjoy your supper, my mate. Thank you very much once again. Good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll catch up with you a little bit later in the season. We're not going to bug you all the time. But again, thank you so much, dude. And carry on doing what you're doing. We absolutely love you. All the best, dude. Really.
Thank you guys very much.
Hang on, but when you're done here, take a photo of what Courtney cooked because we all want to be jealous, okay? Now we want to know. Just make us happy, okay? That's what we want to see. We want to see great cooking.
I tell you
Okay?
now, I had the caucus burgers roll in the history of burgers rolls. I overcooked it. I spoiled my pan. I've got to wash the pan now. So yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah, what can I tell you, bud? Hit up Courts. She'll give you some cooking lessons.
No, my wife will be back soon, then life will make sense again. Daz, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Remember, tonight, well, it'll probably be 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'll upload the second issue of Motor Rider World. We have a very special front cover. Please go to motorriderworld.com, check it out. You can read the digital mag there. We've got some articles in there from Don. We've got some amazing pictures of the two most beautiful men in the entire world. I don't know if I've told them, Darryn and Brad Binder, including Shez Marais himself, another very beautiful man. So yeah, go read that, enjoy it, and we'll catch up with you guys soon. Take it easy.
No, we're dying in the hurricane, remember?
We're going to die in hurricane from
the hurricane. So yeah, this is the last ever feed. Sorry about that. But thank you, everybody.
Cheers, Des. Ciao, dude. Thank you, man.
Cheers. Catch you guys later. Thanks for everything.